All right, we have another guest on today from Massachusetts area. He's born in Dorchester, Mass, drafted in the second round to the Toronto Maple Leafs. In the 2008 draft, he played in 334 NHL games with the Blackhawks, Panthers, Bruins, and finished with the Devils. Now he's one of three hosts in the Missin Curfew podcast. It's a beauty. And he's an absolute beauty. We are pleased to have on Jimmy Scoops, Broadway Hazy. Hey,
oh boy, the man of a man of a million nicknames, I like to say. And I like how you got 334 games there, but you got to add in like 100 healthy scratches because like the new CBA, those count as games played toward the pension, so that's fucking huge, boys.
100 hot dogs.
100 popcorn and fucking Sour Patch Kids.
Well, this is a good intro already. We're pumped. We're buzzing here. There's all the boys here. Jimmy Hayes. I'm going to call you Hazy, and I did this to polls too. I said, I'm calling you Hazy because we're best buds now.
Best buds.
We've been talking for a couple weeks now. Been blowing your phone up. One, we're really excited you're here. But first off, walk us through what's new with you, man. What's going on? What's new in your life?
I just had my second kid, Mac. He's about 5 weeks old, and I just been doing this podcast grind with you guys. It's been a lot of fun. It keeps us, Scotty Upshaw and Shane O'Brien, keeps us involved in the game. We love to talk hockey, lifestyle, and we like to tell a couple of good stories about Missin Curfew, and that's the name of our podcast. And, we just got back from Vegas, and we had some fun time there.
So I got to just ask, how is Vegas right now with COVID and everything? And I mean, everything's kind of being opened up, right? South of the border, especially.
Don't make me cry.
How's Vegas?
Vegas is what we like to call a green light, full throttle, ready to rock, sold out clubs. We got David Guetta, Tyga, chain smokers all performing at these places. So Vegas is back, baby.
Oh, I love Good to hear. Good to hear.
And their rink is insane. Their rink, that hockey, like watching it on TV, doesn't do it justice. Like being there, they make it feel like it's like a party. It's unbelievable there.
Yeah. One of my dad's good buddies, he's assistant coach for Henderson, their AHL game or AHL team. Dude, and he's sending us videos, and he doesn't sit in the box because he likes to go sit in the stands and drink. Fuck. The videos that he sends us, it's a joke.
Oh, it's nuts. We actually got dialed in that MGM Grand suite. It looks like it's one suite, but it's like six sections of a suite. It's massive, and they got their own bars in there. It's insane. Like I couldn't believe like the atmosphere there. It's got to be the best rink in the NHL.
They got poker and blackjack set up there too.
I didn't see that. Thank God. I didn't need to see that. I was playing roulette. I think I have roulette figured out, but that's for another story.
Play the bottom six, 30 to 36. That's your numbers right there.
I was just rolling black, straight black, and I sit there, and if I got 4 reds in a row, hammer black.
Yeah, but that's only 2-to-1 odds. You need to get your 33-to-1 odds, right?
Yeah, you got a 33-to-1 odds, but I was having some decent change on those spins. So
yeah, when you play with that kind of money,
you play quick.
Yeah,
like $40 at the old CR doesn't go too far. So.
All right, Hazy. As we always do on this podcast, we backtrack things. First, and I'm going to do my Boston accent here. Walk us through growing up in Dorchester, Massachusetts. What was a young Jimmy Hayes doing in Dorchester? How good was that, by the way?
That was being for the beer. The beer was unreal. Like that's Boston accent right there. That's a beer. A beer and a beer. Kevin Shattenkirk never knew if I was talking about a Grizzly beer or a Bud Light beer. He's like, it's the same fucking thing. But growing up in Dorchester was awesome. Like it's just it's an inner city kid playing lots of street hockey. Putting the street hockey nets in the middle of the street. Cars here, move the car, the nets over and play on, all that type of stuff. But this is a golf podcast, and I never really got into golf, though, being from the inner city till I was in college and all my buddies were playing. So I suck.
That's not true. We watched you on Chicklets in the Sandbagger, and you and Timmy Stapes, good friend of ours. You guys bodied those boys.
Except that one putt.
Yeah.
That one putt.
That's where Whit was going nuts. I was putting birdie from like 7 feet. I'd blow it by to like 10 feet and then hit the par putt 4-3. He'd be like, fucking kidding me. He was giving me like 14 shots.
Suck it.
And you have a head cover. That's what it was. It Maui, your dog?
Oh, that's my dog, Maui. Oh, yeah. And I just got a new driver. So Maui went right back on the new driver and I'm striping it now, boys.
What are you using for a driver?
The Ping 425.
No free ads.
No free ads. We're a tailor-made podcast.
We're tailor-made athletes.
All right, we can check that. TaylorMade.
SimMax 2. Atta boy, Jimmy.
All right, get the SimMax 2. Send it to my house. I'll start swinging that. If it's free, it's for me, baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So Jimmy, you played national development team. Walk us through and our listeners that experience and the impact it had on your development as a player.
The U.S. national development team, it was an awesome experience for me. I actually turned it down my first year because I was in prep school here, wasn't really ready to go. And then the second year, I was like, all right, I kind of want to do this. And the under 18 team, the whole national development program, it kind of speaks for itself. The players they're developing, they've been doing it since forever. Like that, it's just one of the best programs to have that in USA hockey. I think is huge. I'm shocked Canada doesn't have a team like that. And it just goes like, I think the U.S. is starting to develop some serious players and they're going to college. And that's a huge thing for the national development team. Not many guys are going major junior. They're all going to college.
Yeah, it's true. I actually don't know why they don't have a team here. You know, Rip?
No clue. I don't know why
Maybe we'll start one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chirp City.
So after the national development team, you went on to play for Boston College. I mean, how was that? What's it like playing for Jerry York?
Jerry York. That they yell at you all day.
If he was your coach.
He was his coach.
Yeah, he was my coach. He's still there. But
really,
Boston College, that was like a dream for me. That was actually took a little bit of heat being from the inner city, not going to BU. But I showed up to BC, get on the campus, and it's just one of those campuses that got all the sports there, beautiful girls, and we just I had a lot of buddies there. There was 17 of us from Massachusetts on the team, and winning a national championship with them was one of the best hockey moments I ever had. But to be honest, winning the Beanpot, because we had so many Boston kids, was probably a better night out for us when we were at school.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, was Harvard ever in your deck of cards?
This is actually kind of funny. So I know Teddy Donato really well, and Harvard was in the deck of cards until they got my SAT score. And then he looked at me and was like, are you willing to retake the test? And I was like, it ain't happening, Teddy. He's like, well, maybe if I can find a kid that has a perfect score, we can get you in. I was like, I don't think that's happening, Teddy. So Harvard got crossed off pretty quick.
So from day one, you were like, I'm going to go to BC. Like you didn't even think about going to BU at all, or?
No, it was the ultimate final three was BC, BU, and then UNH. The UNH was a school I considered just because the way they played, like to play the high offense game, and that's what I loved when I was in college. Too bad I couldn't carry that over to the NHL. Still be playing.
Okay, Hazy, I want to talk about the one year you played with Kevin, your brother at BC. What was that like playing with your bro? I mean, you guys must have had a lot of fun there.
That was unbelievable. That was actually like the first legit time we actually played together. We played with each other when he was little. He was so nasty that he could play up 2 or 3 years and play with us.
Yeah.
And then I missed him in high school because I left for the national development team. But my little brother actually, he got hurt his freshman year. So he missed the majority of the season. But then Chris Kreider got hurt in the playoffs. So my brother filled in, played center on a line, and it was the Hockey East tournament. And I dished him in the slot, and he scored. And then that's Hayes from Hayes at like 13:03 of the third period. And my dad fucking lives it up. He loves that story. So that was the one time we connected. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So fast forward, you get drafted, I believe 60th overall. Correct me if I'm wrong.
60th, but I got traded for the 43rd pick. So maybe we can say I went 43rd.
Okay. Well, you better take that up with Wikipedia because the Maple Leafs, they draft you. Never played a game with them. First, what was that like getting drafted Leafs, not playing for them? And then,
No, he was just like Eric Lindros, didn't put the jersey on.
Yeah. No, it was amazing. Like, obviously it was a year that I was projected to go pretty high. I had a pretty brutal draft year. So I fell in the second round, and then getting drafted by Toronto was such a cool experience, just being a part of that organization. Even though it was so brief, I got to go to 2 of those summer camps they had. Got to experience like the hockey, like the whole hockey atmosphere in Toronto. And it's crazy. It's the middle of July and Matt Sundin's on the cover of the newspaper and he's in Sweden. But the main reason I got traded, Brian Burke told me, that was the year they traded Phil Kessel, and they had no draft picks. And my brother had just went in the first round the night before to the Blackhawks. Mm-hmm. So the next morning, the Blackhawks traded for me.
Oh, so cool. Pop question. Who was the number 1 overall draft pick the year you were drafted?
Steven Stamkos, right?
You got it. Okay, just check.
Well, you were there, right?
Yeah, I watched them.
You fucking fall asleep or what? I hope you knew this.
I would say I was sleeping by the second round because I thought I was going. I just kept slouching back in my chair.
Did you go for the first round then?
Here we go.
Did you go for the first round? Was that back when? Or did they...
Oh yeah, I sat there the whole time, and then once the second round started, I got to like pick 45. And I looked at my dad. I was like,
just sweat your nuts off.
This better happen soon here, Dad.
Okay, I want to ask, like, what's it? I mean, we have a few buddies that play in the show and like have been drafted and been through that scenario, but they're kind of fresh into the game. What's it like, you know, for you? I mean, you're sitting there, you're watching everyone going from Boston College, and you're like, nope, not me again. What's that experience like?
It's the one thing, like, because you're a young kid, you know, 18, you're pretty immature. It's a hit to your ego, like, because like I was pretty hyped up, so you're looking forward to it. You want to go in the first round. You want to be able to walk across the stage and shake the GM's hand, shake Gary Bettman's hand. It's just something you dream of doing when you're watching every draft. But once you get to those camps, you notice real quickly they don't give a shit where you're drafted. So that's why I try to tell these kids from around here, you know, you get drafted, you still, it's cool. Like, it's an ego thing. You can go pump your chest around, but I don't think Patrick Kane, when I showed up to Chicago, could give two shits less where I was drafted. I don't think he gives a fuck about anybody, actually.
Yeah, it worked real well for Neil Yakupov. That's all I'm gonna say.
That was a good pick by Edmonton.
Cut your face. Fuck. Still to this day. Anyway.
No, they've done well drafting. They just get layups with McDavid, then they Draisaitl, then they've done well after that.
Yeah, but no, they haven't.
They can't develop. They can't develop.
No.
Okay, well, this is an Oilers podcast, so we'll jump on from that.
Sorry.
You mentioned the Blackhawks. You know, I want to know what was it like playing with Kane, and you just mentioned he doesn't care about nobody. Taze, Keith.
No, I meant he didn't. I meant he didn't care about where you're getting drafted. He's actually one of the most generous guys. He was unbelievable to me. That was one of the coolest experiences for me to be able to hang out with him. And you know, he took me right under his wing. He was one of those guys. Every time I went to dinner, picked up the tab. So he never let a rookie pay for a dinner. That was just because that's how he was treated. And then I remember my first game, I put like $1,000 up on the board. We win, and I'm like, oh shit! Like, I'm fucking playing the minors, like making league minimum here. And Jonathan Taze walks right up to me. He's like, "Don't worry about it, kid. I got that for you." So I was like, "Oh, this is awesome." But just being around like Marian Hossa and Duncan Keith and Seabrook, those guys, it's so crazy to see. They're the best players in the world, and they work so hard. Like, that's the one thing I've noticed, that these best players are the most competitive guys in the world. It makes me question my game at times. Maybe I should have been a little more competitive, but these guys, that's the coolest thing about them. And they're there to help you, and they guide you through the whole thing. And Patrick Kane was probably a great influence on me to how to be a professional and have a good time at the same time.
So then you play some time in Florida. Now, this is going to sound funny, but how was it playing in pre-COVID conditions in Florida? If you know what I'm talking about, fan base wise, there's nobody in the stadium. Like,
yeah, it's
going from a place like Chicago to Florida. It's got to be a huge game changer.
It sure was. In Florida, we were out of the playoffs like in February that one year, and just going from like the Madhouse on Madison to down to the BB&T at Sunrise, it almost feels like sometimes, like when the Canadian teams come down and Boston comes down, it's like an away game because they just bring the whole fans. But Florida's like, when they start winning, you put a winning product there, like you guys probably saw in the playoffs. Yeah, there's fans there, like they're there to support the team, but it's tough to support a team like you've seen in Buffalo when your team's struggling.
Yeah.
So I think Florida gets a bad rep. I think they honestly have the rink in a bad location. I think if they put it somewhere closer to Fort Lauderdale, Miami, they'd probably get more fans. It's in the middle of nowhere.
It's almost like their ball team too. Like, I've been down to Tampa Bay and I seen the Rays play there, and like their stadium is just shouldn't be there. Like, it's just so far away from everything, you know, and that's why they draw 5,700 people, you know, for a damn near first place ball team, you know?
Yeah, it's nuts because in Florida they have an entertaining team. Like that playoff series was probably the best series to watch.
Barkov.
And then Barkov, that kid, he was rookie year when I was there, so you could see it right there and then how nasty this kid was going to be.
Yeah.
Well, a kid that we got to watch play in town here in Regina, a good friend of Drew's, he plays in Florida, and
yeah, he did. Yeah, now he's in Arizona now. But yeah, Dryden Hunt, he was there too. He was a late signing, I guess you'd say. But yeah, good player too, and he loved it down there because he golf.
Yeah,
in the morning
situations.
Yeah, golf in the morning. Hockey.
I've heard Sam Bennett. I love playing in Calgary because I got a great fan base, but I think he couldn't believe that Florida was the NHL. Like, that's when you're going to a team that's winning, playing in the playoffs, and
Yeah.
You can have you don't have any bad days in Florida, because if you have a bad day, you just go sit by the pool and crack a 6-pack of Corona and you're going to be pretty happy.
That's why I haven't figured out why the NHL hasn't expanded to San Diego. Every day is beautiful.
That would be a great city,
wouldn't it? Like it's perfect weather, 365.
but it's probably, I don't know the answer to that, but it has to be probably something with Anaheim being so close. Because remember they were trying to go back to Montreal. Like the Canadians didn't want a team in Quebec City because like it would take away. But I don't know the rule on that. But San Diego is a city that it's an awesome minor league city to play in.
But you're right. I mean, Anaheim's an hour and a half. LA's 2 hours one way. I mean, San Jose's not far. So I mean, you got 3, markets right there. That's probably why. But maybe I'll talk to Bettman and tell him to start looking for expansion in San Diego.
So no, we want to hear. We have Hazy, we have O'Brien, we have Upshaw, and then he'll just get us in there. We'll kick us some cash, and we'll get a team. We're good to go.
We're gonna need a lot more capital than that, boys.
So you got to play with the legend Jaromir Jagr. Like, how big of a rock star is that guy?
He is one of the coolest guys I've ever played with. This guy, I'm not surprised he's still playing. Like, he loves hockey. He'd be the first guy at the rink. He has like his little what do you call those? The Under Armour shorts on, hockey skates on, ankles around his knees, ankle weights. Walk around the locker room with stick and gloves, and he would shoot like a 10-pound medicine ball off the wall before the game just to make sure his stick was nice and strong.
Oh my God.
This guy, he was a legend. One of my biggest regrets was, I think I told the boys, he was after a Tuesday game, and he looked at me, he was like, "Hey, Broadway, you want to go to South Beach?" I was like, not tonight, but I can't go. He was like, "Come on, Broadway, you come to South Beach with me." And I turned down a South Beach trip with Jaromir Jagr, so I got to live with that.
So you just mentioned your nickname now, Broadway. Where'd you get that one from?
I got that my second year in Rockford. We used to do a 5-on-0 drill, and then I was supposed to be shooting the puck. Supposed to be shooting the puck from the wall, and every time I would just take it to come right down the middle and just take a clapper from like the hash marks. So Brett McLean started calling me Broadway, and then it just kind of like stuck around, like joking around. And then I got traded to Florida, and they come and ask me my nickname. I'm just like, "Oh, it's Hazy." And then 3 months later, Brandon Perry gets traded, walks into the locker room. It's like, "What's up, Broadway?" And like Thornton and the equipment managers heard it. They're like, "What do you call you?" And then they made it stick. And then I had a pretty good time off the ice. So then Broadway stuck pretty good. It was like, "We getting Broadway out tonight, or is Jimmy coming out tonight?"
That's good. I mean, you sound like the guy that I yell at hockey practice now. The guy that not doing the drill correctly. You're Broadway.
I would love to. I just did it on purpose too. Just get the goalie pissed and the coach pissed. It was awesome.
The 5-on-0 drill. What do you want?
5-on-0. It's supposed to be a shot from like outside the dot. I just cut right to the middle.
Okay, let's talk about Boston here quickly before we go into some golf talk. You play in Boston, only 40 minutes from your hometown in Dorchester. What was it like playing there? Yeah, and also the Winter Classic. Walk us through that.
Playing in Boston was, I think it was a little bit of a love-hate with the fans. I think being a local kid, my first year, I had a decent year my first year, and then my second year was disastrous. So being from Boston, walking around the city, got abused a little bit, but that comes with not playing well. But being able to play in that Winter Classic at Gillette was probably one of the coolest things I've ever experienced. I got to play an outdoor game in college at Fenway, which was an amazing experience for me. And then to go to Gillette and have that 80,000 people, and the way like the Bruins do it and the NHL does it, they let like your family be a part of the whole process.
Yeah.
So it was a really special moment just to be able to get yourself in the Gillette, being a huge Patriots fan. I remember I was fanboying trying to find Tom Brady because I knew he was there the one day. But I didn't get to run in.
For Giselle.
That would have been a bonus if she was there.
Did you try and shoot a puck over the green wall? Green Monster? Is that what it's called? Green Monster?
No, the Green Monster, I wouldn't have been able to do it. The rink was a little too far away, and I was in college. I was such a chicken shit in college.
Maybe a little slap pass, you rip one, the guy would deflect one. Maybe that was
my buddy Dave Rosofsky, who played on BU, he scored a sick goal against us, and he did the turn around, looked at the Green Monster, did a baseball swing toward the big monster. I was like, God, man, I had to give him props for it. It was a pretty good celebration.
So while we're talking about Boston, I do have a quick question. Taylor Hall's a free agent. He just got engaged. Is he re-signing with Boston? Yes or no?
Or is he missing curfew?
No, I think he will sign Boston. I think that's the right move for Taylor Hall because he fits in there well. I hope they can find a way to get Krejci back for him, because those two together were unbelievable. And
played real well down the stretch too.
And it was just like a lot of fun. Like, I'm still a Boston Bruins. Even though I got bought out playing in Boston, a lot of people think like I don't like the Bruins. Like, I have a ton of buddies still on the team. It's over with. It was fucking 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So like, I was rooting for him. Played with Halsey in New Jersey. I hope he stays in Boston. I think that's the right move for him, because he's got those. Even though he's one of the best players in the league, he still has those bigger names than him there. And I think that takes a lot of pressure off him. He can just kind of play his game and do what he did. I thought he was great for Boston. I hope he resigns in Boston.
Jack Eichel, is he going to be traded?
Yes, 100%.
Where is he going?
Where is he going? I mean, I started the rumor last year he was going to the Rangers, so I might start that one back up. But I'm hearing LA is big in the mix. Then there was some crazy rumors Calgary was in the mix, but I just don't know, because I think he has the no movement clause hasn't kicked in yet for him. Yeah, so I think that he's kind of, I think Buffalo kind of has the upper hand right now, but I don't know if a team is going to trade for a guy that doesn't want to be there. But I think it'll be a big market, like LA, the Rangers, and then Anaheim's the other team I'm hearing. So those are three teams I would be shocked if he wouldn't go there.
Edmonton, maybe.
Can't afford him.
I don't know how that's going to work.
That's all we do is get forwards. We have no defensive goalies. So.
No, you get another first-round pick and take a goalie.
Yeah, take another Russian that serving burgers at A&W. God.
All right, Hazy, let's rip into some golf talk here. We got some golf questions and whatnot, and then we'll go into a segment called Questions from the Gallery, and then we'll get some stories from you. But first, how much you playing these days? Foles mentions he plays lots of golf with you. Where's the home track for you?
Walston Country Club, same track as Foles. I was starting to play a little bit. I probably play like 2 or 3 times a week and then try to hit the range the other days. But having 2 kids right now is kind of takes away from playing. So if I get a couple hours, I'll go hit the range. And I actually played this weekend at Pocasset, a course down the Cape, and shot at 82. So that's a good score for me. So I'm pretty jacked up with an 82. So have the new driver out, striping.
Well, if you had TaylorMade, you'd be probably shooting 72. But I mean,
yeah, I'm willing to try anything.
Sounds like Jimmy and I could golf together. That's my kind of scoring. So
yeah,
have fun. You got to have fun. But my rule is you don't slow the group down, and then you don't critique all your bad shots.
Hey, you're not good enough to be mad. That's what I was always.
That's exactly what I say. I'm not good enough to get mad.
Yeah.
No, and I mean, Jimmy, I'm sure you're just like me. There's that one shot of your round that makes you want to go back out the next day. Right?
Oh,
or free.
You could shoot 82.
Fucking golf.
But hole out from 35 yards, and you're like, "Yep, that's why I like this game. I'm coming back tomorrow."
There's nothing better than like making a triple and then like birdie in the next hole, and you're just like, "I'm back, boys. I'm back. I love this game. This is the best game in the world. I'm playing. I'm like a 48 at the turn, but I love this game."
Let's ride the wave here. Let's ride the wave.
Hazy, Foles sent me a video today of you putting. He wanted me to ask you about your putting. You had about 15 feet for birdie, and you ended up having a lot coming back. Walk us through your putting game.
I'm known as Jimmy 3-putt. We had Max Homer on the podcast, and I was just like kind of asking him like, "Hey, asking for a friend, how do you fix your putting?" And he was just like, "Man, I don't know how to fix 3-putts. Like, this isn't like I am so bad at putting." The thing I've noticed, the faster the greens, the better for me, because I leave everything short. So the faster they are, the better. So I need Wally to maybe cut those greens down a little bit, get them rolling.
What was your nickname you said?
Jimmy
3-putts.
You know what they call me here? 3-putt Troy. I'm not even making that up. It's 3-putt Troy. We should definitely golf together, Jimmy.
If I have a lag putt, it's not good, boys.
Like you hit a shot on a par 4, you're like 180 out, you hit it on the green to like 25 feet, you're like, "Nice bogey, boys, thanks." 5.
Oh, I've driven greens before and made bogeys.
Oh, Jimmy, we gotta talk.
It's bad. I've done everything. I've gone to the claw, gone to left hand on the bottom, left hand on the top. It's I don't know what to do anymore.
Eyes closed, 7
I'm doing this new thing. Like, I used to have like the forearms like kind of like touching it, and that was
like
too handsy. So now I'm getting like a little bit of a wider elbow grip. I don't know. It worked the other day, so we'll see the next round. Yeah, you see me walk around carrying suitcases. Oh, he's going to putt.
Just
Oh,
don't,
Jimmy
just
Street
don't,
Fighter, yeah.
just don't introduce the pencil grip to that too. It look really weird.
Oh, I can't. It's so bad. I don't even. I put the fat grip on my putter too, thinking that's gonna help. So maybe that'll help. Who knows?
Okay, Hazy. I got one more golf one here, and then I'm sure these boys will jump in. Rip and I have watched it lots. Obviously, we had Stapes on. We stayed in good contact with him. But you two, you and Stapleton put a beat down on Wit Dog and Biz. Walk us through the sandbagger, and you guys were on fire.
Yeah, well, it didn't help Wit that Biz was on. I think he was on a little bit of mushroom. So I think he, I think he was. I don't think he should have been playing, but it was Stapes and I. Stapes plays at like a 9 handicap. I was playing at like a 12 or 13 at the time, so I was getting tons of shots, and we just kept the ball in play all day, and it was basically 2-on-1, and we closed them out on hole like 12 or something. Wit was not happy. The next day, I played Wit again at the same course. He was giving me 13 shots. He cut it down to 9. I was like, how does this work? There's a handicap system for a reason. So then he beat my ass the next day and got all his money back.
Well, the reason why I asked that is because you say that your putting isn't very good, but you made everything that day.
Because the greens were fast. The greens were
was
fast.
big.
We're playing at a PGA course. The greens are rolling, boys.
And Maui was working too.
Maui was striking
on
it.
it.
Maui was in business that day.
Troy, Rip, any golf questions for Jimmy here?
I got a whole bunch, but they're all for the segment.
Okay,
That's
well
why
then
I'm
let's
gonna
go to my
save
next
them.
question here. This is a good one. Before we go into your podcast and we want to talk about that, you must have a good story or two, with your bro, Wit, Jans, even Ross. You must have a gooder here for the boys.
So I got a good one with my brother, and we got a bunch of guys. We call it National Kevin Hayes Day. It's right before July 4th every year, and we go down to Hyannis on the Cape, and we play this par 3 course, 18 holes, par 3. And we got about 16 guys. 2 years in a row. We had Dumoulin was there. He won the Cup 2 years in a row. So we got the Stanley Cup champ there. The guy loves it. We get like the 4 o'clock tee time, so no one's behind us or whatever. And I'll just put it this way. By hole 16, there's 16 guys on a tee box, and shirts are optional. Sometimes the shorts are optional, and we had 16 guys just playing in the last 3 holes, and the guy comes out, and we thought he was going to scream at us. He's like, "You guys are having so much fun. I got to sit here and watch this with you guys." So it was just, we have that unbelievable day in the par 3 course.
That's awesome. All right, I'm going to ask the podcast here, Jimmy. Let's talk about Missin Curfew. Your co-host, obviously, with Shane O'Brien and Scotty Upshaw, Man Rocket. How did that all come about? And, what do you guys enjoy? I mean, obviously, you're enjoying it. Walk us through your experience thus far, and also, what's one thing that's really hard for yourself and the boys doing a podcast.
It all came about actually. Shane and I were at a Christmas party in New York at I think it was Up and Down, and we're sitting there, we're just shooting the shit, and he was like, "Hey, you got any interest in doing a podcast with me and Uppy?" I was like, 100%. Let's try to figure this out. And then we were getting ready to do it, and then COVID hit. So I was like, we were going to go with The Athletic at the time, and there was no hockey. So like, whatever. And then once hockey got announced back, we did like a kind of a demo for them, and they liked it, but they kind of wanted to control.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact details. They kind of wanted to control what we were going to say. And we're like, that's not going to really work for the brand we're trying to build and what we want to talk about.
Players.
Yeah. So then we got sent to Kevin Conley. Kevin Conley was with Action Park Media, and he set us up, but it was awesome. He led us the way. He showed us how to do this whole podcasting thing. And, the one thing that we're adjusting with, and we have so much fun talking hockey, and like with you guys, it's kind of, they're together in the West Coast and I'm here. Yeah. So trying to get the Zooms and figuring out, like, that can be tough at times, but we're having it's a lot of fun. Like I said, it keeps us in the game. We love chatting. We bring up some funny stories. We got some great guests on there. It's I love it. It's just being able to talk hockey. It's so easy, and it's just fun. You enjoy it.
Yeah, that's great. I enjoy the podcast, and I have questions for your podcast and the questions from the gallery part of things. But last one here, Jimmy, before we go into that segment, we do this question with a lot of guys that are, the celebrity guys, check mark, the pro athletes. Walk us through, some experience for a young listener today on what it takes to be, whether it's a pro hockey player, pro golfer, pro athlete. Just give some piece of advice for the young guys and girls.
But did you just call me a celebrity?
Not a big deal.
Yeah.
I like that. I'll take it. That's a compliment. I'm gonna ride that. I'm gonna go tell my wife that she called me a celebrity.
Just remember, we want a signed jersey.
No, we got some of those. I think I can find one of those. I used to have the best quip manager. Frosty would send me home with a bunch of jersey.
I'll take some.
But to answer your question, like I think the biggest piece of advice to give these kids these days is, I think they got to realize how hard it is. I think some kids want it easy, and you got to fail a little bit to succeed.
Yeah.
And I think they got to go and realize how hard these pro athletes is. It's so hard to make it to the NHL, and it could be like cliche. I just think hard work, determination, and like the dedication. You got to dedicate yourself to your practice. You got to make a decision. Do you want to be a professional athlete or not? And enjoying the grind. I think the biggest thing is enjoying the grind. It's hard. You got to be in shape. It's hard to play in the NHL. It's hard. And I think that's the new NHL. These young guys are all in tip top shape. So if I was a young kid, I would just be working on my fitness and my conditioning and my skills, because that's what it's going to take to get to the NHL these days.
Yeah, I could have used you about 15 years ago. Thanks, Jimmy. But okay, off to our segment called Questions from the Gallery, sponsored by Molson Coors. Vizzy Hard Seltzer. Meet new Vizzy Hard Seltzer with 100 calories per 355 milliliters. This variety pack has something for everyone to enjoy, including pineapple mango, blueberry pomegranate, strawberry kiwi, and black cherry lime flavors. Choose Molson today. Please drive safely all the time. All right, boys, I'll let you guys go first here with what's so funny.
That was good.
Okay, thanks.
Good.
Questions, Troy and Rip, you guys go first. I've been talking for a while here.
Number one, I ask this to every guest. Ultimate golf foursome.
Ooh.
Dead or alive?
Preferably alive, because they can't.
Bon Jovi.
I think Scotty Upshall played with Michael Jordan, and so I think Michael Jordan's on that list. My brother, I just love playing my brother, and I know I can possibly beat him. And a healthy Tiger Woods, I think that would be.
TW is on everybody's list.
Yeah.
Tiger's on.
Yeah, he's just a legend. Like he made golf cool. Like he's the guy.
Well, Cam Jansen said Elon Musk, so you definitely weren't as far off from where he was, but yeah.
I'm not sure if I want to play with Elon.
All right, I got a two-parter here. What is your favorite course that you have played, and what is your favorite course that you want to play?
Besides Augusta,
Yeah.
you can't play it.
Yeah, you can't play.
Oh,
Actually, no, you
might be able to.
Sound.
Favorite course I have played would be Whistling Straits. Whistling Straits is probably the favorite one I played.
That's sick.
And which one do I want to play other than Augusta? I don't know. I love the California courses, probably like Torrey Pines or Pebble Beach. Those ones look like they're the ones. Pebble Beach is probably the one I want to play, because there's a course out here in Boston called Eastwood Ho, and I play that a bunch. And the guy said that's the Pebble Beach of the West Coast, and I love Eastwood Ho. So Pebble Beach is probably up there.
Yeah, absolute dent in our wallet, but probably not much for you.
Sure. Hey, you just got to know the right people. The right people get it taken care of.
True. All right, here's mine. I do want to know the best Missin Curfew story. What you can and can't tell. I mean, that's up to you, but you run a podcast about curfew, so it's here, Scripsy.
The best. I don't know. I could probably keep it. The one thing what I used to love when I was playing in Florida, we used to have Uppy used to have this guy. Diego was the valet guy at his apartment building he used to live, and there was a guy in the building that owned 2 Sprinter vans, the Mercedes Sprinter vans, and he would let us take them for the night. So having Diego probably drive us down from Fort Lauderdale to the SLS to eat at Katsuya, let him get some sushi in him, then drop us off at Story, then head over to 11. That was probably the ultimate story for the Missin Curfew boys. We had some late night trips back from 11.
What is your handicap?
A 12. It's gone up. I got my lowest I've been is a 10.
How much cash you playing for on the golf course?
Depends on who I'm playing with.
And next question. Michael Jordan, you never know.
You never know. Uppy got beat pretty good. The most I've played for was with my brother, Keith Yandel, JT Miller, Mark Stahl. Who else was there? Jimmy Veazey, and I'm missing a couple. Yans. Did I say Yans?
Yeah.
There was 8 of us, and those guys wanted to play $100 a hole. So that was probably the most I played for.
How much did you win?
No,
I ended up, it was kind of like it was kind of like how do we play? Like it was kind of like match play, whoever had the most at the end.
Oh yeah.
So you just kind of paid up the ladder. So I was paying out, but my brother ended up winning. He was probably, I forget who he was playing with, and
ATM.
it comes down. I was playing with JT Miller. He's playing at a 1 handicap. I think I shot better than him. So I was like, this is a great partner.
Oh, great.
It's showing up. Rip.
Thanks for coming, buddy.
All right. Going back to your playing days, what is your favorite road trip?
Chicago. That's my favorite city. Oh yeah. Got to start my career there, and then go there was the best.
Did you guys do rookie party on the road, or are you guys at home?
Yep. We did it twice in Vancouver. Then we did it in, I did it in Vegas with New Jersey. And then we did it, where did we do it in Boston? In Boston, I want to say we did it in Scottsdale.
Terrible.
So Scottsdale's probably up there.
Shitty. Playing up north here, that's our favorite road trip, is going out to Vancouver. It's so sick.
That city, I never knew how awesome that city was until I played there. It's just one of those kind of like, I don't know, hidden gems. It's got great nightlife, and it was a lot of fun when we get to go there.
Yeah, we had Luke Combs play the night we stayed there. We stayed an extra night. Luke Combs played. Oh, boys got banged up.
Where'd you go? The Roxy?
We did get in the Roxy, and then we went to Brandy's. Have you ever heard of that place?
No, we used to go to the guy, Peak George, like a place called Pierre's. It was a restaurant in front and then a club in the back. And it was rookie party dinner, then go to a club, and it's just, it was just a factory in there.
You don't even know.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
Hazy, best prank that you've been a part of or seen?
One of the best pranks was, it was actually in the minors. It was Andrew Shaw, Ryan Stanton, Perry, Jeremy Morin, and this kid, Brandon Bolig. I think he played in Calgary. Bolig.
Yeah.
Tough guy. But he ended up living in a building that I lived in the year before, and I still had the garage pass. So we used to go in there like once a week and like toilet paper his car, put peanut butter on his handles, and he'd come to the rink all bullshit. And I'd be like, what the fuck, dude? Like, who's the hell in your building like is doing this to you? He had no idea. And then finally the last game of the year, we told him it was us. I thought he was going to beat the shit out of us. So it was like an ongoing thing for a pretty good year. He had no idea it was us.
So piggybacking Turner's question about hidden gems, what do you think of Regina?
Regina? I've never been.
Well, we need to get you here.
Yeah, come down.
Yeah.
Well, we talked today.
I don't even know where it is on a map.
You know where Edmonton is, right?
Yeah, I know where Edmonton is.
Straight from there.
8 hours east of Edmonton. 5 hours west of Winnipeg.
Yeah, it's colder, if you believe it.
Oh my God. Edmonton, Winnipeg, man, that's.
Did you ever go watch your brother in Winnipeg?
No. I was still playing that year, so.
You can ask him. It's the exact same.
Yeah, same weather.
Literally same weather. Like, yeah.
It was the best when we played in Boston. That Canadian trip was like in October, so it was just done with before the season started. You're like, thank God. You're like, you're still fired up. Imagine if it was like in the dog days in February. You got to go spend a week in Western Canada. I don't know if I'd get out alive.
So I got to ask, are you a big Red Sox fan?
Yeah, I love the Sox. The only thing is, I haven't been watching as much this year. But the Sox, when Big Papi was there, I was a huge Sox fan.
I know.
But they're playing pretty well right now.
Considering we don't really have a pitching staff. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
they gotta go out and get
I'm a
somebody.
diehard Red Sox fan. So
I love that. How are you a Red Sox fan?
Well, from Regina.
I don't like Toronto at all. And that's Canada's team. So I was like, screw this. I'm going to cheer for Boston. So
love that.
I've been a diehard Red Sox fan for.
Have you been to Boston?
No. And that was my next question I was going to ask you. What is Fenway Park like? Like that's on my bucket list, top 3 list.
So you're saying fly me out?
Well, no, if you want to fly me out.
Yeah, we can play in the member guest as 12 handicaps, see how much damage we can do. No, if being a Red Sox fan like you are, it's something you got to experience. And Boston in the summer, I just never listed as one of my favorite cities because I live here. But like, I remember guys would ask me to leave Boston to come visit them during the summer. I was like, you can't get me out of Boston in the summer. It's like Chicago. Those cities are unbelievable in the warm weather comes. And then going to Fenway, it's one of the coolest experiences to experience a game because Boston fans are nuts.
I know Drew has seen it before, but I did some collecting and I got it all framed and whatnot, but I have game programs from 1939 and 1940 when the Yankees played the Red Sox. Like there's two different
Wow.
programs, ticket prices. And back in 1939 on the ticket, it was 10 cents to get front row seats. I mean,
Troy didn't buy them though.
No, I bought them. I bought them as a collector, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Plane
Asian is a
tickets are
joke.
too expensive.
But my dad actually sells tickets for, he's a ticket broker. So we get some good access to the Red Sox seats. So if you ever do make it to Fenway, you're going to have to hit me up, and
That's cool.
we'll be putting our beers, put it this way, we'll be putting our beers on top of the dugout. My dad's got 4 on the first base and 4 on the third base side. So the beers will be on top of the
That's
dugout.
cool.
Yeah.
I got to see my Red Sox play in Anaheim. Well, I guess it was 2 years ago because of COVID, and we were right on top of the dugout. And
Yeah.
I ended up getting a ball from. It was one of the pitching coaches from Boston. It was like, I was like a little. I'm 40, right? But I was like a little girl. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I got this. You know,
Ruin some 8-year-old's day next to you.
I didn't care. I would have fought him off.
All right, Jimmy.
That's awesome.
Another question here for you. I got. Well, I don't know. This is probably my last one. How many hole-in-ones do you have, or do you have any?
Zero. And I've come close. If like that counts. Like the only one I was on a bachelor party playing barefoot in Myrtle Beach. It was playing barefoot actually, and I hit one to like 6 inches. That's the closest I've ever come.
PJ
But,
Street Vegas.
That was me.
I would. Oh, that's my rule. If you're in the foursome and someone hits a hole in one,
Right
we're
there.
going to Vegas.
Well, we have to get on a Greyhound bus and get up and did the Vegas. We can't afford to.
We hop on a train.
Oh, we get commercial flights, boys. We get there. We'll figure out a way. We'll get there.
I've got one last one.
Sure.
And it's back to your playing days. What is your most memorable moment playing in the National Hockey League?
I think my most memorable moment is probably that first game, and then maybe the first goal. But just having my parents in the crowd, like, and they came out, they flew out to Chicago, and they stayed in the hotel with me, and my dad's sitting in the lobby, and then I get in my car to head to the game. I'll just never forget like that look in his eyes, how excited he was, and just being able to play for the Blackhawks against Detroit as your first game. That was probably the coolest moment for me.
Awesome.
I really enjoyed it. It was, and then not getting sent down after the game was probably the next coolest moment.
That's good. Ripper, anything?
I'm good.
All right. Try
I was just gonna wish you a happy belated Father's Day because that was yesterday. So happy Father's Day. Hope all is well.
Awesome. Thanks, boys.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I hope we can do this again because I think we had a lot of fun today. I know that we obviously did our homework on you, and you're a funny bastard. We had a lot of fun today. Yeah, like I said, we'd love to do this again with you. Best luck with your podcast. Where can people check it out? I guess if free plug for you.
Awesome. Thanks, boys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. And this was a ton of fun. And I'd love to come back on. I got to get my handicap down, though, so I can start bragging.
And you need to get the TaylorMade.
Yeah. Actually, Uppy and Obi are supposed to get me to the Kingdom out in California, the TaylorMade Kingdom, and dial me in for some clubs. Well, not sure when it's going to happen, but that's the plan. Hopefully get some content for it, too. You guys can see my power cut that I hit.
If you guys go to the Kingdom, call me. We're going to link. I will spend I don't know. We'll figure something out. We'll be up there, too. We'll figure it out.
That'd be awesome.
All right, Hazy.
Awesome,
man.
guys. Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks, Jimmy.
No problem, boys.